Okay, I just want you to know I'm kind of slowly traveling the streets here.
In half a mile, take the exit right.
I'm just totally kidding.
Left.
We got an Italian driving an Alfa Romeo here in town, and we're making some good progress with Jersey Joe.
Take the exit right, then keep left.
I'm telling you,
State Route 3.
You're getting every single woman here hungry for some of your pasta there. We're talking about protecting the kids, and we're talking about election integrity. We're talking about defending the border. I'm here talking with Jersey Joe also about energy independence. We've gone over other options.
In a quarter of a mile, keep left.
We've even gone over...
Keep left.
You know, you've talked about protecting children. We didn't even dive into keeping... how about drag queens reading stories to children? What does that have to do? What does a drag queen... would you, as an adult kink, have to do with anything involved with children?
Can I turn the thing down a little bit? Just the volume of it.
I don't know if I can.
Oh, okay. Well, you're right. I think, why are we allowing sexual predators to attack our children? That's kind of where I'm...
And then what about women? You know, the left says that they are all for women's rights, right. And then they want to let men that identify as a woman go into their bathrooms or their locker rooms and participate in their sports.
Right.
You know, that's a total, attack on women.
Yep.
And
I'm not for it at all. I think men should open up the doors for women, and we should be gentlemen. But when you don't know if a person is a woman, like for instance, my son asked me,
in a quarter of a mile, keep left.
He said, "What?" He said, "Son, what about that woman?" I said, "Well, son, that's a mentally ill man. That's not a woman. So no, be polite to women." But I'm not for this sexual identity crisis transformation. In fact, I think that we should not let mentally ill men compete with women, period.
That's exactly what it is. It's a mental illness. It's called gender dysphoria. It's been diagnosed. And, you're just opening up the door to men taking advantage of this law.
That's right.
And the left are like, no, you need to accept them as that or whatever. You're transphobic if you don't believe in that. Right. It's mental illness.
Right.
I mean, it's
pure and simple. And then we're denigrating women and their rights. And I'm sorry, but if you're one of these mentally ill men, let me tell you something. You're not competing with my daughter. You're not competing with my mother. You're not competing with my grandmother. Okay? And if you do, and let's say you're a parent and you've got a mentally ill son and you want him to compete with my daughter, let me tell you something, buddy. I'm going to compete with you. I'm going to go to your house, and then my wife is going to compete with your wife, so we can teach you mentally ill people a lesson. Now, this isn't Joseph Belnome talking. This is Colonel Sanders telling you that. That's where I come from. Sorry. There's a little big sidebar there, but here we go. But we got to protect the children, and I'm not for any of these mental rejects attacking our kids. And in this state, they can try to keep all that stuff not only quiet, they can quietly influence your child, then they can try to transform your child, their sexuality. And I think that's just wrong and should not be allowed at all. I mean, that's just where I'm coming from, though.
Right. I think a lot of people, a lot of Democrats, they agree, but they probably worry about how maybe more of the left wing or more of the radical left is going to perceive them in the party, right. And they don't want to be attacked by people in their own party. But what's happening is they're lying to themselves. They're lying to you, they're lying to themselves, and they have no integrity.
That's right.
That's my campaign focus is restore integrity. That is the main theme of restore integrity, and that applies to all aspects of government. So you want to restore integrity in our justice system that's been weaponized, and you're seeing it against Donald Trump, and you're seeing it against conservatives pertaining to in your religious freedoms. You have no integrity at our border. You have no integrity in our elections. No one trusts our elections.
My integrity, just so you know, comes from Jesus Christ. I know that I have to answer to a higher power, okay? And because of that, I don't do things that are negative because I believe that I'm held accountable for my actions. And there's a beautiful thing to accountability. And I see the cross here that's in your car. And I'm assuming that Italian American, you probably believe in Jesus yourself.
Jesus Christ is my Savior.
Mine too, brother. And, without the Bible, my basic information before leaving Earth, I'm really nothing. I'm a clanging gong. I'm a cymbal. And without love, all of us are nothing. And what did Jesus do? When all the disciples gathered together, they were wondering, Jesus, who's the most important amongst us. And I think you remember Jesus put a child on his knee and he said, this one comes before all of us. So what we're doing, just so that you know, is not just political. We're standing up for Christ, and we're standing up for children, because to be a Christian, you have to do unto others as you want done to you. But you have to put everybody's child in front of yourself. They are our future. Children are our future.
Yeah, and what the left is doing is blasphemy.
Yep. Yeah, and exactly, blasphemy, because to defy the Creator's work is blasphemy itself. This is not just a sin, ladies and gentlemen, not to Christians, because remember, God created man and woman. So if we try to undo what God did, we're saying what he did is wrong. And if you're saying that, then well, that's the definition of a blasphemy to me. You too.
Yes.
So there you go. Christians agree 100%. And so, you know, look at the speed we are doing here.
Look at that Manhattan skyline.
Wow. These little narrow buildings like that, most of those are pretty brand new or what?
No. It'd be very lower Manhattan. If you see the Freedom Tower, that would be new there, but these are all existing.
So did you grow up around here, Joe?
I grew up in Belleville.
Okay.
I grew up in Belleville. I work in Belleville.
And he's also the inspector for the buildings, or what's your official title with what you do?
Code enforcement officer for Belleville Building Department.
There you go. So it's like this is a man that knows as far as...
I was a bricklayer. I was a union bricklayer. So I know how to work with my hands. I know what it is to work hard.
Yep.
You know, I'm not a polished politician. I'm, a working man like many of my constituents.
In fact, they had you in the oil refinery doing some stuff there. Weren't you laying some stuff in there for a little bit?
All right. I did some refinery work and turnover.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm just letting all of us oilmen out there know there's a brother here, and he's had to do some work just like we have. But that's what makes America great again.
Crawling through those pipes at the Bayway refinery.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's something that as far as what a man does, ladies and gentlemen. People are like, what's a man? Well, a man's got to do man type jobs. So you can drive around and go to work, or so that you can get in that train and go to where you need to get to, or in that airplane and go see the people that you love. So the election date coming up is same date as kind of the president's race.
November 5th, sure.
Yeah. So
Tuesday, election day, you're going to have, in my district, you're going to have Trump on the top of the ballot. You're going to have Curtis Bashaw, and then you're going to have me, Jersey Joe Belnome.
That's awesome. In fact, I better be able to keep some of those ballots just as that's nostalgia. Yeah, that's nostalgia right there for just all times. Even when we get older, we can check that out. Oh, bang, bada, boom. We are actually in the Sopranos area right here. No kidding. But your district is the Sopranos area, right?
It totally is. Belleville is mentioned several times in the show Sopranos. There's definitely some landmarks that are in the opening theme, the opening song of Sopranos. You got Pizza Land, and there's one of my best friend's homes was filmed. The basement of his home was filmed. It was in an episode of The Sopranos.
Oh, awesome!
So that's we're right in ground zero of the Sopranos TV show. Sure.
We're going to what? The beach?
We're going to the Beach Cafe.
Okay. And
it's a nice little restaurant. A friend of mine owns it in Manhattan, and it's a good place for Republicans. It's a good place for everyone because the food is great.
Nice.
But, the Beach Cafe, my friend Dave Goodside owns that, and we're gonna go there and have a good time.
So at votejerseyjoe.com, can people make a donation to you there as well? Or
please go to votejerseyjoe.com. You can see the issues that I spoke about, the things I stand for, and donations. If you can leave $10, $20, $100, anything you could leave will help me a lot because I have to get the message out. I have a big district. Me and Chris were talking earlier. My district is the size of the whole state. For population wise of South Dakota. Yeah. I have like 800,000 people in my district, so it's really hard to get the message out. So anything you could do to help me get that message out with a donation, thank you. I appreciate that.
I want you to know, can you imagine Congress one day with people like Jersey Joe Belnome, Chris Sanders, Rocky Rockford, just a lot of people that are actually true patriots that support and defend the president to every breath that we have. We believe in the Constitution of the United States. We've taken an oath to protect this country, and I think we're going to do that into our dying breath. What do you think?
Constitutional rights. Without that Constitution, You know, same thing with the border. Without a border, you don't have a country.
Yep.
America has our Constitution. That's what gives us our freedoms.
Yep.
And that needs to be protected.
What about Second Amendments? Are you like me, that word infringement? You believe everybody should have a gun, or how does that go out?
I mean, everybody doesn't need to have a gun, but you need to be protected if you want a gun. I am a gun owner myself.
Okay.
You know, I shall not be infringed.
That's right.
I believe in that fully.
What kind of gun you got?
I have a AR-15. I have a shotgun. I have a handgun. I got a 40 caliber.
Okay, so there you go.
22, yeah.
He's got the standard MAGA lineup. There you go. I always kind of laugh when they talk about one side versus the other, because I just want a lot of people to know most MAGA people don't just have one gun. We might have 10 or 12, and if this kicks off,
and
at
I'm
least...
not a gun enthusiast by any means. You know, like I barely shoot my guns, but I have my guns, and I enjoy having the right to have a gun.
That's right. I mean, we got to protect ourselves and our community. And, I think they wrote that Second Amendment just in case things got out of hand. And I'm not sure things aren't out of hand right now. But for this election, it's like the Democrats didn't even have one. And we're being force-fed a word salad. The socialism, communistic word salad is kind of like what we're looking at, in my opinion, right now. But, again, those are just my opinions. But I'm scared for the future of my children and my grandchildren, and I want you to know that. Wow, this looks on the side of you right there. Is that Manhattan right there? Sure. Is that Manhattan?
Yes, that is.
Wow. Adam tells me there's like 7,000 buildings, skyscrapers in Manhattan. And that's pretty wild. I wonder what's going to happen when they start to age. I mean, do you think demolition's going to be something that's going to be coming up once all these things get 200 years old? Well, I mean... Yeah, either one of you guys.
I don't know what the shelf life is on those buildings.
Right, me either.
They build them to last.
Okay.
Unless they get hit by planes, I suppose.
And of course, we are here September the 12th, and 23 years since 9/11.
September, 11th, 9/11 stuff posted here.
What bridge?
They say never forget. We're going through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Yeah, I can't forget. I was the first responder out here, Joe.
Is that right?
Yeah. And for 2.5, 3 months, I was out here just basically picking up, everything I could, talking to families, helping out at ground zero.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, I was just totally shocked and had to come out here and try to help, and met everybody from every single country, parents looking for their children from literally every country in the world.
Can't imagine.
Yeah. Went into the subway systems, and from there I was able to see splits on the posts as far as things that look like demolition instead of, destruction just by airplanes.
Right.
I think we have a lot of unanswered questions, just like even with Trump's assassination attempt.
I was happy to see Melania Trump actually bringing that up. She made a statement about that, like why there were some unanswered questions. That threw me for a loop a little bit, seeing her do that, and it's interesting. Melania Trump doesn't talk too much,
right? And when she does, it's like, please listen. This is the smartest first lady that we've ever had. She knows more languages than any first lady we've ever had. I do believe I've heard Barron's IQ is around 170, and he knows multiple languages. For a good tree is noticed by the good fruit that he produces. And I ask you to look at that when you examine Don Jr., Eric, Barron, Tiffany, and compare that to the fruit of Hunter. But I don't want you to judge.
Or even Kamala's daughter.
Oh, and they're not even her children, her biological children. So there you go. And word has it that her husband knocked up the babysitter just last month, and the babysitter had an abortion.
Whoa.
Yeah, so here her husband, it's like, are they really a real couple? Because it seems like he hooked up with his previous kid's babysitter. So I think we're dealing with just a total phony family on that side. I don't believe her relationship is real. And I think that she's being run by a dark mob, and she's just the puppet saying what she's supposed to say. Now, I think it's not just Obama, even though her candor and her cancer was just like Obama's. I think it's actually Bush, Clinton, and Obama that are her bosses, and it's been proven. Yeah, it's proven by also their endorsements, as well as Cheney and Quayle and every single other phony that thinks that she's credible.
And they call us sheep. Now the Democrats are like, yeah, we like Cheney now.
Yeah, right.
Endorse them, right?
Yeah, so the Democrats are endorsing a crooked Republican vice president. And Cheney and Quayle, this proves my point. It proves that the Bushes are a part of this fiasco 100% because both of their vice presidents have endorsed Kamala Harris out of the blue. So there is no Republicans and Democrats. It's a uniparty of Democrats that are basically stealing our money, in my opinion. Yeah, they're stealing our money. They're opening our borders, they're replacing us, and the victims are our children and the Americans, people in the United States of America.
God, I hope I get in there.
I hope so too, because I'm going to need you in there, because people go against us. I'm going to tell you, this guy and me, we're going to meet you lard buckets outside, you know. They'll say, you know what, Jersey Joe, Colonel Sanders, and Matt Gaetz, we're going to dish it out to you, lame brains. Come on, Nadler, we're going to meet outside. Schumer, you're going to meet us outside here in a bit. We're going to talk to you about some pasta. Pasta? Yeah, we're going to make you some pasta. Yeah, some bolognese sauce.
Some rigatoni bolognese.
And then we're going to introduce you to some of Tony Soprano's friends. How about that? Bada bing.
We were by the bada bing.
Well, there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. And we'll talk to you in 2 and 2. God bless.